Enugu, there lived a strikingly beautiful lady named Zina. She was the type of woman who turned heads on the street, not just because of her beauty, but because of her boldness. Zina had the kind of body that artists dreamt of sketching: a tiny waist that curved out into wide hips, full thighs, and a confident stride. She was unapologetically herself. Her chest and stomach were graced with a large, elaborate tattoo of a phoenix rising from flames, done in deep black and red ink that shimmered slightly in the sun. She wore it like a badge of rebirth. On her face, she wore bold makeup, lashes that could sweep dust off a table, shimmering eyeshadow, and perfectly drawn brows. A tiny nose ring sparkled under the sun, and the second one looped into a delicate gold chain that connected to her ear. People whispered when she passed, "She's too loud. She must be wild. See how she's dressed. Where is her shame?" But Zina didn't care. She knew who she was: an artist, a lover of beauty, and a woman with a free heart. One day, while painting at an art exhibition, she met Chinedu, a quiet, kind-hearted man in his early 30s. He was a tech consultant, polished and soft-spoken, with deep brown eyes that saw more than appearances. They talked about music, art, and life. Zina laughed freely. Chinedu was enchanted. Weeks passed and love blossomed. Despite being different, they fit together perfectly, like wild colors on a canvas. One Saturday morning, Chinedu turned to her. Chinedu, "Zina, I want you to meet my mother." Zina, pausing. "Are you sure? You know how people look at me." Chinedu, smiling. "I love you for who you are. I just want her to see you." Zina wore her best outfit, a traditional wrapper with a modern twist, paired with a lace blouse that revealed a part of her tattoo. She put on light makeup and wore just one ring on her nose. When they arrived in Chinedu's village, his mother, Mama Ifeoma, was already waiting outside her compound. At first glance, Mama Ifeoma's face dropped. "Mama Ifeoma, Jisoo, what is this? Tattoo? Nose ring? Is this a masquerade or a woman?" Chinedu, "Mama, please, this is Zina, the woman I told you about." Mama Ifeoma, folding her arms. "You want to bring a shrine into my house? This one that looks like she's possessed by fashion? No, not in my lineage." Zina stood silently, trying not to cry. Chinedu held her hand tightly. "Zina, Ma, I understand. I may not look like what you expected, but I'm a good woman. I cook, I work, I love your son with all my heart." Mama Ifeoma, coldly, "Love won't remove the demons in those tattoos." That night, Chinedu and Zina argued for the first time. "Zina, you said you were ready." Chinedu, "I was, but I can't throw away my mother. I need time." Heartbroken, they parted ways. Months passed. Mama Ifeoma introduced Chinedu to a church girl named Adaura. She was the opposite of Zina: modest, soft-spoken, always in ankle-length gowns, and never wore makeup. She called Mama Ifeoma Mommy with a sweet smile and always brought her bottled malt. Chinedu eventually married Adaora. At first, everything seemed perfect, but behind closed doors, Adaora changed. Whenever Chinedu was away, she made Mama Ifeoma do everything. Adaora in the kitchen. "Mommy, please wash the plates. I'm tired." Mama Ifeoma, "But I just finished sweeping." Adaora, "In, it's your house. Should I come and serve you too?" She insulted the house girl, shouted at neighbors, and gossiped constantly on the phone. Mama Ifeoma was stunned. She had chosen her son's wife based on appearance, but the girl had no respect. One day, Chinedu overheard Adaora shouting at his mother. "Adaora, you're too slow. Must I always wait for you to cook? You're not a queen here, oh." Chinedu burst into the room. Chinedu, "Adaora, are you talking to my mother like that?" Adaora, rolling eyes. "So what? She's not a saint." That night, he couldn't sleep. His mind drifted back to Zina, the way she spoke kindly, her soft laughter, how she once gave a beggar her only M500 note. One afternoon, Chinedu went back to Enugu for a work event. As he stood near an art stall, he saw a familiar back. It was her, Zina. She was painting a mural on a school wall, surrounded by children who laughed and admired her work. Chinedu, softly. Zina, she turned, her eyes wide with surprise. Zina. Chinedu, they stood in silence for a moment. Chinedu, I made a mistake. Zina gave a small, sad smile. Zina, I know, Chinedu. You were always the good one. I just didn't see past your skin. My mother judged the wrapping and missed the treasure inside. Tears welled up in his eyes. Zina touched his hand gently. Zina, some things are better left as memories. I forgave you long ago. That night, Chinedu sat alone in his hotel room. His phone rang. It was his mother, Mama Ifeoma. Nah, this girl you brought into my house is a devil in disguise. I didn't know how good that first one was. What was her name again? Chinedu closed his eyes. Chinedu. Her name was Zina. Moral of the story. Character is not worn on the skin. It lives in the heart. Judge not by appearance, but by action. If this story is captivate you like for more. And don't forget to follow Onwana's story.